Hello?
I lost the game.
Oh, damn it. There, Rick.
But
What the? Bro really just came in here and fucking did that to me. Oh, hey. Vi? I forgot you're still named Minecraft Farlands. Yeah, I've been... Why am I seeing ads? You might... Hang on. Update your ad blocker. Nope. Can you hear me now? I disabled ad guard. No, see, that was it. How goes it? Let's see. I'm glad I was able to see this one. So what's up with the music? What about it? Surprising to ask, I sat on the fucking like echo. Where's my beloved stream without music and just grass sounds? I've always had background music. Like, I almost always have it on. Anyways, yeah, I've restarted, not restarted, but I started up this world, actually about a month ago. So this is 1 month of walking is about 600 kilometers. Some delicious Coke Zero. Why the music? I have always had background music. This is the same playlist I use for both the Farlands walk and the World Border walk. And I guess it's also the same one I use for Alpha Farlands. Whoa. The sugarcane's doing some weird, like, anti-aliasing over there. Or I guess it's just aliasing. Since when? Since, like, always. Like, I compiled this playlist in December of 2020. So, like, I'm still using the same playlist. Actually, it does remind me. What, the music is too loud? Because your voice is kind of loud? That is because my voice is, or my microphone is further away from me. Actually, I do need to set up the desk stand. Well, I don't really know how this is supposed to work, to be honest. Actually, I need to add something to the playlist here, because it was supposed to be on this. You don't like my music? Damn. So, to be honest, the music is mostly for me. Alright, let's save to playlist, streaming playlist. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna use this. It's like a 2-hour. Okay. Was it this one? Dang. No, he had a really good mix to use. I remember it from like several years ago. Yeah, this is it. So, anyways, the music is mostly for me, because it's better than me listening to silence. Well, speak for yourself, I do not. But also, the fact that my microphone is further away from my face, because I never set back up my boom arm after I moved. So, like, if it was set up properly, it would be like this, and this is how it would sound. However, I cannot hold this next to my face the entire time. So it sits on my desk. Now I could set it back up, but the problem is it's like too in the way, and I kind of value my own comfort, to be honest. I could use, I think I might have tossed it. But the headset microphone that comes with it, but I think I tossed it. How's the military been? You haven't been here in a while because I haven't streamed. But if you were not aware of the latest updates, I have been out of the Navy since April. I am once again a civilian. Yep, that's 6 months ago. Almost. It's been about 4 months. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I have 2 monitors. It, like, barely fits on my desk. OBS goes on the second monitor. I did actually have to rearrange OBS because I used to have the activity feed swapped with it, but I had to crane my neck too far to the... Oh, you know what? Now I know why I had it like that. It was because my old monitor setup, I put the secondary monitor on the left. And so it was better to have the chat box on the right so I didn't have to crane my neck as far. I got 2 monitors and a smartboard. Oh, nice. I still can't believe you have the fucking Twitch name Minecraft Farlands. Anyways, what I'm really curious about is how you used NVIDIA Broadcast to, like, to remove the music from my broadcast on your end. I don't know how you did that. Teach their own. I guess it gives you the choice and it doesn't put the burden onto me. That's cool. Yeah, so I started this... shoot. Yeah, I started this on the 19th last month. Kind of a complicated setup. What if I get like a minimal like setup with the microphone to put it like directly next to me? Or I guess like directly underneath me. Oh, my shoes broke. Alright, let's get a fresh pair. Alright, I can hear that. That was before that was a thing. Oh, interesting. But yeah, I've been out of the military since April. Nobody is in the VC right now. It is also like 6:40. I mean, Archer was here for like a second, but he made me lose the game, and that was it. So he may pop back in. Because the way I run this is that everyone's asleep. Yeah, people are just busy. It is like the middle of the week. The way I run this though is that what I'll do is I'll just sit here and just sit in the VC. If people join me, people join me. Yeah, I mean school's starting back up again, so yeah. My classes start next week. Wait, is it Infinite server? No, it's in my own. Papa Pat, I don't know who you are. Do I know you? That makes me a little suspicious. Imagine it's another scam bot. Yeah, I don't know, because I tend to be wary, but also particularly people I don't really know. Which isn't really like a stupid thing. Caution's better than nothing else. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, I usually just it's in my own server, which is what I've done that for. That's how I did for all the other walks. Is that people would just join me in VC as they felt like it. But you are right about school starting. There's people like working, although it's 6:40, so people should be home by now. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be streaming in the evenings starting next week, just because of classes. Not gonna actually watch. Are you unable to watch in the mornings? Is that biocolors in the water? Yes, it is. Do you have other questions about... My sleep schedule is screwed. Oh, don't get me started. There's a bit where I was going to bed at 8 and then waking up at 4 p.m. If you have any other questions about the random shit you're seeing on the screen, you can also ask me. Because this is the Farlander mod 2.0 that I developed. Yeah, you can send me screenshots, because I think you saw me on Discord. I don't recall. I didn't give you a build of the FOM mod, though. Because you asked for the speed meter thing, like a long time ago. I did? I don't recall. Yeah, this is like genuinely like gone from my memory. I do remember making the speed thing. That was the only thing I remembered. Yeah, so there have been like some things requested for FOM for a while, and it hadn't been kept up to date. And so I like updated it like last month. a lot of stuff. Although what we started doing was we started doing polls for things. For the most part, a lot of things are like visual, like the biome water. Are you aware of the biome water thing? Because the jar shipped with a colorizer that was incomplete, and it shipped with a watercolor image that was in the beta 173 jar. So like they had planned to implement it, but they never got about that. Yeah, but that. Yeah, I think I've seen other mods like activate it. It just requires like a little bit of code to get working. Because you gotta change like how water gets colored. Yeah, but it's not added to mine for obvious reasons. I don't know what the obvious reason is. Cool thing about it though is that I made it a setting that you could turn on and off, which I am not used to bright blue water anymore, I will say. Yeah, pretty much everything for FOM I turned into a setting rather than making it hard-coded. Like your percentage, whether or not you want this thing on, the coordinates being readable versus normal, a fix for falling sand will teleport, the world jitter being on or off. Yes. So I have 3 settings: on, off, and Australia. So this is for the southern hemisphere people, so this is what it looks like in the spring. So this is equivalent to February for us northern people. So it basically swaps out the color maps based on the system time, which you've probably seen from Cave Game, sure. Yeah, I just ported it over. Same thing. Let me turn it back to on. It doesn't look terribly different right now from the default. Like the birch trees are a bit darker, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm curious to see though how it interacts though with the tall grass and the ferns, because we never tested it with that stuff initially, so I don't actually know how it looks. So it was a joint effort between myself, Arkard, and Wade. I provided the code, and the other two mainly did the color maps because I'm not that good at it. I'm probably better now just from my own game dev experience. But those two mainly did the color maps, and then I would just implement it, and we tested it thoroughly. But we did that in beta 1.4, so we didn't have tall grass. The other thing, obviously, is you see that the jitter is now affecting us, so we have a setting to turn on and off the jitter, so if you want to smoothly walk, you can. And then you can just turn it back off. Yeah, it started as, oh shoot, I guess, so I was at the gym, and I was thinking about various things, and one of the things I thought of was like, oh, you could make this a, you could make some things a video setting, if you wanted to actually, like, utilize some things. Because, like, before, the world jitter fix was, like, hard-coded. Same thing with the world boundary. I parameterized that. And so the way it works currently is, actually, let me get over here and stop, and I can show you what I'm talking about. Is if you go to create a new world, you get a button here for the world boundary. The default is 32 million. You click it, you'll get the integer limit. And so then when the world gets created, it gets passed to the world creation and set into level dat. So then the world boundary could be either or. I mean, yeah. It wasn't terribly difficult. It was more just figuring out how to, like... Yeah. The way the world boundary works normally Yes. So the way the world boundary works is that if for certain functions, it will check if the x and z coordinate are within the -32 to 32 million range. And if it's outside of that range, it will either say this block is air, or it will just not execute for like setting blocks. That's why you can't place a water bucket above the world. For example, we'll just delete the water block. And the result of that, though, is what the world boundary is. So it's like several functions that control it. And you could just change it to whatever. Well, yeah, height limit. Mostly because there's nowhere for it to write into the byte array, but that's a different conversation. But the... now that I'm thinking about it, you could probably extend the height limit like to 256 fairly easily. You might have to modify the world save code a bit, because you'd have to double the size of the byte array. Huh. I've never thought about that. Interesting. Anyways, ignore my ramblings here. The default, if it was, is send me screenshots. It'd be easier for me. No, because my second monitor is where my OBS is. I'm gonna keep that up. If I had a third monitor, that'd be more feasible. Anyways, so the world boundary is hard-coded, normally to be 32 million. So what I did was, instead of doing that, the picture-in-picture... Dude, I said it's my OBS is open. I don't have Twitch open, I have OBS open. I could open my phone, but my phone's charging because it was almost dead. So anyways, I passed the size for the world boundary to the world info, which is what's stored in the level det. No, the only web browser I have is for the music, but that's closed, or minimized, because I just needed to play the music. I never have the web browser open. It's a fucking tall mountain. It's a nice looking lake. I mean, it's also like 7 p.m. I don't expect it to be super busy. Alright, it's time for me to jump up. Yeah, it's a private VC, so I'm gonna decline that one. I usually just stick to this, because I filter who comes in and out. I don't think I've given anybody that pass in a while. It's pretty much just people that are like my close friends. No. Or I could simply, like, view this, like, after the fact. Ex post facto, if you will. Oh, man, my fucking foot hurts really bad. Like, I can view this after I'm done streaming, but that also depends on, like, the engagement. Anyways, why did you add the boss health bar? For what purpose would you need the boss health bar? Ooh, we're at 4.8%. Very nice. Let's see. Yeah, I should get to about 4.9. So I'm not gonna get to 4. I'm not gonna get to 5% today. I'll get a dang close. I should be able to stream a little bit longer tomorrow. I don't have any mandatory events to go to for school. Although I gotta do my laundry early in the morning because I am low on clothing. Imager. Hang on, what the fuck? Oh, this is more server. Open link. Wow. That is an excellent shader. Did you rate the shader? I really like the way the sun works. Yes and no. Displays the spawn chunks. Okay, cool. It's more vanilla, yes and no. What do you mean by yes and no? I feel like I know what the answer to that is. I can see that. I mean, the alpha bar was something I just kind of hacked together. It's funny you showed me that sun thing because I'm working on rewriting the skybox shader in my game today. I haven't done much of it today because I didn't have much time this morning. But I'm doing the same thing of where the sky color blends into the sun, so it like gets brighter as you get closer to it, instead of it just being all blue, like the default is. Use the 1.9 pre-5 previewify code for the boss bar there. It supports the positive version. Huh, interesting. Oh, yeah, I did see the block stats. Although I can't really see what that says. What the hell is T? Didn't I write TAB? Huh. I feel like I did write that, but I don't remember. Oh, time, angle. Yeah, why would I add digits to the angle? Why do you need to know 1,000th of a degree? I digress, but whatever. Then your F4 coordinates, those are you. Oh yeah, I did do that. speed is rewritten. Okay. Now it takes your speed per axis. But that doesn't give you your overall speed. Whenever you're done, I can tell you about the changes we're planning to make for the next patch of FOM. Ooh, god man. The plantar fasciitis is killing me today. I said after, when you're done showing me everything, I'll tell you we're planning for the next version of FOM. Because we take polls over time, and then I aggregate those. We'll take suggestions, so usually what happens is someone makes a suggestion, I kind of do a bit of filtering there myself of being like, okay, does this affect gameplay, or is this feasible for the program? And then from there I go, alright, then we make a poll. Yeah, anyways, there's this new B-. Yeah. Anyways, poll gets voted on. If it's yes, it gets added. If not, then nothing happens. B? I don't know. Blocks? Oh, boat. Wait, boat related? Does it track how many times you get into a boat? Oh, that does remind me, though. I have my fucking stats here. Oh, that's hilarious. Holy fuck. A lot of beds. However, the feature for that as well. Okay. It's your speed when you're in a boat. Nope. Alright. Yeah, that is true. That is redundant. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of to be related to the boat. Is it the number of boats in your inventory? Alright, well, I'm out of ideas. That was my last one. More of a Hail Mary than anything else. What's one problem with boating? When your motor dies. Ooh, that's a gap. It's an annoyance when the boat zooms off without you. Thank you for giving us sub to Benjamin Netanyahu Live Cat. I really appreciate that. Can't believe you gave BB a fucking sub. Subscription from Tel Aviv. Alright, I'll tell you, it's the boat's angle. It's angle, but for the boat. But wouldn't it have the same angle as the player? That's his official Twitch account? Are you fucking kidding me? Nope. Oh, they don't match up? Oh, okay, I see. New York City mayor is real, though. Great. The last thing I need to hear is Benjamin Netanyahu hear me making a fucking 3,000 years ago joke. And then the fucking ACLU, or the, not the ACLU, it's the, what's that stupid organization? The fuck fucking defamation one. Anti-defamation link. You see the 3 smaller values? Yeah, they're written much smaller. Age equals hostile mobs. Yeah, because I guess that doesn't really differentiate. I think the defamation lawsuit will go higher via drone. E is equal to entities. Yeah. Oh, God. Hang on. This tells me how close I am to the anti-mob spawning thing. Right. Great enough view pager. Cat, I don't want to die. I take it your programming skills have gotten to the point now where you're able to actually do these things. That's good. Alright. Memory clear. Adding a metronome? You added a metronome. Okay, I don't really know what that does, but sure. Which basically plays a hi-hat sound every 5 ticks. Which tells me how fast I need to vote. It uses a random move, of course. Yeah, it uses Hyper Beam. Hi, Arcard. That's an incredibly specific niche thing. I am waiting for weight to return. I see. Ah. It is horse gotcha time. Ah, cool. You finally dragged him to see the horse anime. But soon. He's gonna drag Tile into it now. Just the horse game? Yeah. And you're working towards it, is what you're telling me. Anyways, yeah, you can see why I can't use the biome watercolors. Running shader set's a no-go. Is it? Right now he's watching My Hero Academia. Ah, cool. Well, I don't even know how you got shaders to function in beta 173. Given that, like, everything is set up using fucking fixed function OpenGL and not programmable shit. Goodbye, Arcard. I will see you around. Oh, you use the fabric port. Fabric. That's actually a better system in my opinion. Yeah, because someone had asked if we could make FOM, like, compatible with Fabric. But based on the way you're describing it, it doesn't need to... It would just work. Well, it's a shame you can't use the watercolorizer, because it genuinely really fits really well with betas beta's coloration. Like, it just kind of fits. I very much like it. I don't know. I don't really mess around with that. I usually just jar mod directly, or I'm writing my own engine code. Direct jar modding is easier, anyways. At least as the programmer. JNA? Java something archive, I don't know. Looks like you just gave me some JSON. This is a book. Sounds like you got an interesting setup for that, at least. I also added the McPatcher HD textures and font patch thingy, so HD textures. Yeah, nice. See if I can merge MC Patcher with. I don't know why I did that. I don't have inventory space for this. Fucking ball. Just need 2 beds. That's not the way you make a bed. Well, I'm making fucking beds. I might as well make some boats. Give me a second, V. I see your messages. Let me finish making boats. Alright. Jiro combined the water shaders mod with Seuss. But I just know this could be a fucking nightmare. I don't know that's possible. I mean, technically anything's possible. Trust me, I've had to do some weird shader hacks. At least when developing my game. Don't even get me started on fucking, not fucking normal lighting. Skylighting. Good God. So to give you some context, you know how Minecraft colors grass, right? Where it's the grayscale image and then it takes the color and then multiplies it. And then you get the actual output color on the texture, or at least it gets rasterized. Oh. Drop my boat. Okay, so the way that would work is that it would get multiplied into the vertex color value. However, that also took the block light values into account as well. And the block light, for the most part of the world, would be 0. And I had a secondary system for the skylight. So the skylight would give its own light value and its own color from the sun based upon time of day. And the problem was that you want to have the brightest one return. So on the part of the vertex that I the vertex's final color, I would output each channel's highest value. So that was what would work. The problem is, though, because skylight during the daytime was always greater than the light value, it would pretty much always return that it was white lighting. And as a result, I lost the color information regarding the grayscale textures. So all the grass would output as gray constantly. So what I had to do was I had to take a value that ranges between 0 and 10. And most of the time it ranges between 0 and 1, and then it gets progressively larger and larger the closer it gets down towards 0, to then re-multiply back to get the actual color value. And then this is a float, so that I compressed it down to a half float utilizing some code that I wrote to rewrite the bit structure and then pass it into the shader. And then that would just get multiplied back to give you the original grass color. So it was very hacky, but it worked. Oh, come on. This is like a nightmare? Yeah, it was mostly like me trying to figure out like why the fuck everything was gray, because that was the more confusing thing. And then eventually I realized why, and then I was like, okay, now I gotta brainstorm. And I figured out that like I could re-multiply by a value, and then it would get essentially the color back. And then I had to figure out, okay, how do I calculate this value on the fly? And then, all right, now based upon how many free bytes I have in each vertex, how do I encode this? Which I did. It wasn't terribly difficult. Once I got it working, it's been fine ever since then. The system works. This is like a nightmare beyond comprehension. No, I've done enough work now in like vertex and fragment shaders that it's not terribly difficult. I generally know what I'm doing. As well as like getting render data over to the GPU. But I've done a lot of coding in OpenGL, so that kind of does make sense. I don't know, maybe adding HD texture and shader support to fall might be a thing. The problem is I need the source code to actually get that working. The other thing too is that it would reduce the ability of people to use it depending on their OpenGL driver version. Because I think the minimum required driver version for this version of Minecraft is OpenGL 1.3. Now granted, most people are going to have OpenGL 4.6 by this point, because it's like 8 years old now. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess you could just have as an option that you could turn on or off, but I would have to rewrite the pipeline. Imagine beta Minecraft, but Vulkan. Well, considering you think shader nightmare is a code, do you want to know how awful it is to code in Vulkan? It is horrible. Hi Fig. Hi Burbia. Whole rewrite. Okay. There's a whole bunch of, obviously, legacy OpenGL fixed function stuff in this version that is not used anymore. Because OpenGL has not been updated since 2018. And there are certain benefits that Vulkan can confer, and as the programmer, you're able to get more predictable GPU behavior out of it. Because you have to specify literally fucking everything before you can even draw a triangle. Here's an example of this, like, the code to set up the OpenGL context by default, OpenGL. I like using it. It is fast to iterate on. I don't have to worry about some of the other back-end shit. But there's a line that you have to call before you can use commands on the main thread in OpenGL called gl create capabilities. And that's one line. However, in Vulkan, that doesn't exist. And so, essentially the same things that create capabilities would handle, you'd have to then write the code for yourself. And I'm not kidding. That was like around 2,000 lines to write all that. And a lot of the time, it's quite literally just defining a struct, sending it to the GPU, defining a struct, sending it to the GPU, storing your long handles for like whatever device it is, for the driver, for physical device, for a whole bunch of other context stuffs. How much have you been walking per day? About 20 to 30,000. Oh, that doesn't sound that bad. Yeah, no, just a walk in the park. I mean, it could just be a skill issue on my end too. But I genuinely did not enjoy that. It made me appreciate OpenGL a lot more. Because a lot of that shit is just handled for you. Yeah, we have boats. I'll make some of the next water. I mean, even simple as swapping the frame buffers is complicated. It goes from being like a one-line thing you call to swap the buffers to being like, I don't know, a few hundred lines just to fucking perform the buffer swap and clear the buffer. Fucking awful. I couldn't even get it to actually properly work without it fucking performing a window lockup. Because if you like fuck up the frame buffer swapping, then your window locks up. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Yeah. Actually, I will show you what I did work on game-wise a couple days ago. This is the wrong server. Where's the shit? Let's see. No, I didn't want to copy the image. Copy the media link? Yeah. Sure. Fucking whatever, Discord. Hopefully that works for you. I was working on that the past couple days, and I finally finished it up last night. Nice in-world tooltips, quote unquote. It's not actually in-world, it renders directly on the screen, but it looks like it's in the world. Boat hand. Boats. I like boating. They see me boat on my Segway. Hey, wait, Buebue, you still here? You're close to the next set of spawn chunks. Did you hit those yet? Because you were at 1,000,000, so you should be getting close to your next set of spawn chunks. That's a cool little kid. Very nice. Dang. Looks like Buebue actually is gone. Dang. I wanted to ask him that question. Oh well. You know, I just thought about this, but you could have dungeons overwrite the spawn chunks, couldn't you? Huh. My next question is, how would that work above ground? It probably wouldn't work. You'd probably just cut a hole in the side. You're giving me a lot of, like, library calls there, dude. Ow. think that boat broke. Well, that means I'm not getting that fucking wood back. Temps to drop. Really? Oh, what temperature is supposed to be tomorrow? 81. Oh, that's supposed to get down to 64 tonight. Nice. Be nice and chilly. I like that. Aw, damn it. Oh, man. You don't get this one. Okay. Good luck. I think you should be able to because it's just coloring an image. I mean, it functionally it's nowhere different. It's nothing. It's not different from the grass blocks. Oh shoot. Okay, you're doing a direct modification of the source code, like where you use retro MCP, right? Because I do have to give you a bit of code. Must be on your end. I'm still running it. But I have information for you regarding the water. Water. It should work because it's functionally no different from the grass color, but also the water texture FX system will need to be modified so when you are using that colorizer, it grayscales. Never mind. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Consider that. That would require pretty significant rewrite. I think I'm familiar enough with OpenGL I can do it, but I'd have to define that. I also don't make a shader parser. Most blocks in this game are axis aligned, so like I could do a pretty easy determination of the normal. I don't know. Well, shader part isn't difficult. It's just that how do I redo the fixed function pipeline to program the stuff? That is kind of tricky. Ooh, man, I would need to... Actually sending the... I have to send the matrices to that as well. I don't have a matrix class. So I'd probably have to rebuild those classes from Java into the game. Because the projection and view matrix, I believe, are defined in the clipping number. However, I just remembered I broke one of the Farlander commandments. Did you break one of the 10 commandments? Yeah, nothing down there. What did you do, Buebue? Well, I have to banish you to the pits of Farlander hell? I'm just kidding. Oh. At 50,000, I died in a really stupid way and teleported back. Did you like just realize you did that, or did you like know it was like the, I guess the wrong thing to do at the time? I tried ice boating, didn't work. Oh, but the... Oh, no, but, like, the fucking... You can't spawn on ice, though. Yeah, that's a lesson you learn the hard way. I don't know. I don't even remember what our... I need to go to the Farlander Hill. Yeah. As penance, we're going to make you walk 50,000 blocks into the Farlands to actually achieve it. In reality, I don't know what the answer is, because I don't even remember what it is at the top of my head. And that would be like a discussion thing to have. I don't really know, TBH. It's just switching to negative Z. Yeah, just give up. You already said it. Fucking hell info. Everything to change your axis? Oh, that's where... Oh, because you just talked to Lupo about it. Yeah. Are you actually going to? Well, I guess now I've passed you. I'm just kidding. You're probably going to pass me. Because you were already way ahead. And you're going straight on, so you're going to fucking zoom past me anyways. I think give like 40% more effort just to achieve the same distance. Or, I guess the same number. Unless I switch to corner. Dear God. Hey, go for either one. What you could do... Okay, hear me out. To match the world border thing I'm going for? World border or world boundary? Oh, right. You are doing... Are you doing world border? Are you on the website? I think I would have seen you on the database. Oh, yeah, because you want to do quarter border. Although I definitely don't think you're going to beat that one guy there, because he's like 40% out. Right, okay, now I remember. We talked about this the other day. Sorry, I'm a little fuzzy on memory. Don't get old. This just looks weird. Does this not look like a chunk error to you? Like, look at this. This looks wrong. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it is. I think it's just the fucking noise just looks weird. I don't know. Have you been to the Farlands yet? You have not gone to the Farlands yet. Yeah, no, you're not, because you're blue in the server. I don't know. Because you can go to either or. I do have an idea for you to attempt, though. You could circumnavigate the Farlands. Walk around the entirety of the edge. All 4 edges. Because that was going to be one of my 2 options for this. I was either going to do what I'm currently doing, or I was going to circumnavigate. And I opted for this. I should do that. No one's done it. It would be really stupid, but no one's done it. I just want you to know also, I would have continued from my original quarter Farlands world, but I didn't like the quarter Farlands because they were too flat and boring. I'm going to be 35 when I get there. How old are you now? Are you already old, or is it just going to take you that long of a time? Dude, that's in 2 decades? Oh, wait, what? Oh, wait, so you're 50. I don't like this. I say I don't like this because I'm 29, so I'm like almost double. Alright, well, anyways, my back hurts. That's crazy. Crazy work, dude. Bro, you sound 20? What does that mean? Like, I guess it's a thank you, that's a good thing, but like, what does it mean I sound 20? Is it like my manner of speaking? Yuck. I'm gonna take that as a compliment, though. Just take my compliment and go. That snow patch looks very strange. Looks like it's like a part of a plane cutting across this. That's weird. I was gonna ask you though how far out you were currently in your world, because you were getting close to your next spawn chunk. I was at 1 million exactly. Man, I was looking forward to seeing if you were like close to the next one.
Open up! This is the Swollies!
Hey Dan, thank you. I had to, I had to chime in with that. Except I'm not autistic, I'm just really fucking stupid. I feel you on that. Oh, it's look, you want to change axis, right? That's what you're intent on. Plus X has no aura. I still don't know what the fuck. What does that mean? It's all the same. Anyways, you're intent on changing your axis. You clearly want a reason to. I think you should just do that in this case. Because then you don't have that kind of, like, I guess, stain on the world, so to speak. I mean, I've stained my world because I've modified the world spawn to get my spawn chunks back. But I'm willing to accept that. To be fair, not having spawn chunks was some pretty stupid shit. I just wanted to build a castle. I was excited to get there and, you know, start building some walls and some, like, and some towers and start making some cool stuff. Why did spawn chunks not happen? So, the way the bug works is that it's based upon, like, how much of the region around your spawn chunks ends up in the quadrant you're in. And my spawn is at, was originally a -12, -147, or 12, -147. So literally only one chunk actually made it onto there, and it would sometimes appear. And it's because I didn't go that same direction. If I went that same axis, I would end up with that, which I think it was on the positive-negative axis originally. Yeah, because I switched to negative-negative later. Yeah, we had a discussion in the internal Farlander chat. Like, we had like a 2-day vote on it, which I think it was like a 90% vote, if I remember correctly. So I just went. I recorded myself doing it, but I opened up the level dat, set the world spawn to 128, and then just opened up the world and then started building. Because like I want to have the spawn chunk to be like a big ass castle. Does that make sense? And I was really excited to do this, and I get there, there's like fucking nothing. So I was really not upset, but I was disappointed. I got pretty like down about it. And I was like, you know what, there's a way to fix this. So I did open up a test world and did that. And then I was like, all right, well, these are my options. How big is the max spawn chunk glitch? I don't know. I think it's over 250. Now, because I set mine to the exact same coordinates, it's 255 by 256, or 256 by 256 in like total length. That's because it's essentially a perfect square. So here's what I would do. On your current world. Ooh, okay. I'm trying to think here. Or I guess when you restart, you want to do -x, right? I will await your replies. -x or -z. Okay. So what you should do to maximize this is generate some worlds. And when you generate, if there's no valid block available at 0, 0 at the surface, basically just checks for sand, because you always spawn on sand. I read the source code on it to figure out how it works. Anyways, otherwise if there isn't, then it starts like ping-ponging around looking for an appropriate spot until it eventually finds something. And then as soon as it finds a valid spot, it spawns you in. That's why your spawns are variable. If there's no valid spawn at 0, 0. So it's not entirely deterministic. It just depends on whatever the random number generator gives you at that time. So my suggestion to you is, let's say you want to go -z. Let's say that's your axis of choice, and then modify this for whatever you're doing. So what you want is you want to get a spawn point that is decently far away from the 0 on the z-axis in the negatives. So you want to spawn probably like, I don't know, like -128. And then preferably close to x0. It doesn't have to be like exactly x0, but close as you could get. And then go off in the -z direction. So when you get to the spawn chunks, they're decently sized. Do spawn chunks show up in corner runs? Yes, they do. Because I actually had a fairly small spawn chunk region on my original Firelands world that I did in 2020. I forgot that you got them on this. Yeah, because I understand roughly how they work now, at least internally. So it was pretty easy for me to like cause the bug to reappear. Don't worry, we had a whole debate on this. I know who reacted with that. It was Zelinator. Yeah. He always uses Fig Hunt. Yeah. Whatever. I expect that. Okay, I got a spawn of -60, 164, -61. That's not a bad spawn, TBH. -61's decent. If you get something like maybe within like 30 blocks, you could use the same. It says my percent is -0.01%. It's because of your setting for your Firelands percentage, since it's based off axis. So if you're negative on that, then you're gonna get a negative percentage. I could probably change that actually and shrink it so it's just like x-axis and z-axis, and then I could just use the absolute value of the player's position. I should have done that. I'm an awful programmer. It's the same reason how all the quarter modes are redundant, because they all do the same math. Which is why I'm going to collapse them. Better programmer than me. I mean, fair enough, I've just done more experience, because I've been programming for about 4 years now. Fuck, it's this night. Cool. It is time to sleep. That's what I would do, at least to maximize your spawn chunks. If you are going to switch and go to another axis. I take it you stopped walking because you remembered that and then you didn't really want to potentially deal with that. Let's see, Dan's at 10,720,000, very based. Because you reached 1 million a few days ago, but you haven't moved since then. Well, the important thing in life, and just life in general, is not lying about things. Because it will eat you. I think we have I don't know what the... Hang on, let me go read what the actual rules say. I always forget that we have that. Is it Farland's info? No, Farland's journey info. Alright, what the fuck did Zelinator write? Legal bugs, general notes. Do not tamper with the save file, teleport, or utilize cheat engine. Oh, yeah. You know, I guess that's why making something const is valuable, because then it can't be modified. Well, I'm sure if you just do what you intend to and switch axis to -Z, then it will be forgotten in time, and we can laugh about it in like 4 years. It's also probably better that you came to that conclusion on your own, or not on your own, but like at only 1 million. And I know that is saying a lot because like I don't know how far you've gone before in these kinds of journeys, but like 1 million is a pretty good distance. But like you're obviously aware that it's nowhere close to being done. That was my furthest. Yeah, 1 million's an interesting mark. I've usually realized that if somebody can make it 1 million blocks and keep going, they usually have like the mental capacity. Not mental capacity, that's the wrong word. That just makes you sound stupid if you don't. And they have like the mental fortitude to. That's what it is. The mental fortitude to actually complete the journey, because it is very difficult. Not like physically, but mentally it is difficult to complete this kind of a task, just because it takes so long and so much of your time. And then you have to contend with the fact that it just takes for fucking ever. Previous is 90,000 knowledge of the Farland's database. I take it you found out about this from somewhere. Also found a spot of -277, 376. Would that work? I think that would work, actually. I think -277, 376 would work. It might. I don't know. I would try to get a lower X coordinate. I think. I'm trying to imagine how this plays out, knowing how this hash map overflow works. I'm trying to like envision in my head. Bit difficult, obviously. But it might end up making it so that your spawn chunks don't actually start at 524, 288. They'd actually start a little bit further. Because it'll like clip off that. I don't know. I mean, shoot, you might as well. If you're gonna make it your world, you might as well just spend the time to get that. Like at the next set of like 530,000. Like a couple hundred blocks after 524, 2088. Because of how it works. That's just the earliest it can start because of the way the overflow works. If your spawn chunks are far enough away from the origin, then you won't see it for like a couple hundred more blocks. Which I observed in testing. It helps having a better understanding of how it works. Go down. Looks like I'll be reaching 540,000. I don't know what the hell I said that for. I'm reaching 4.9%. Very nice. Great success. Okay, so I'm either letting like 0 spawns or fucking 325. Oh man. Ugh. 325 negative 198. That's a fucking big spawn. I mean, with 0 spawns, you're guaranteed to get spawn chunks, but they're not going to be as large if your Z is a little more negative. I think they'd also be rectangular. Dude, that's your world. There you go. 9 negative 158, dude, your spawn chunks are going to be a big fucking square. If they aren't, you can come to Pennsylvania and kill me for it. I'm like 20 minutes from the Pennsylvania border. You could be in any number of states. West Virginia. That's relatively close. Ohio. Wait, did I guess right? Let me guess, you're in fucking Wheeling. I guess there's more of, like, I guess there's like Morgantown, which is nearby. It's like longer than 20 minutes though. I will say, West Virginia is a very beautiful state. I've driven up through the center of it twice now from, oh god, what the fuck is it? By Bluefield, near where the Virginia border is. Up through, Sutton up to Clarksburg. Very beautiful drive. Would spawn chunks happen if I TP there? Yes, they will always occur. But I wouldn't do that because of the world being not deterministic. So make a copy of the world and then test it on that if you want that to be your main world. And then whenever you resume, or I guess start walking in that one, then open up your original and then start recording it. Or whatever you're able to do. West Virginia, though, very beautiful. Oh, good morning. One moment. Ahoy! I've returned. Turn that off for now. Alright. What are you humming about? I should go to the corner. Dear God. Lewis. Is this supposed to be an emote? You could. Corner walking is a little bit different, though. You do have to pay pretty much constant attention to your coordinates to keep them aligned. I also recommend a compass. Yeah, because like with edge, you can kind of like ignore your coordinates for the most part, but with corner, you kind of have to keep them aligned. Otherwise, you will just naturally drift. Although walking to the corner without any F3 would be interesting. Although I don't think that's probably the best idea. Sunset. Great. I just realized I could take my one block of, or one diamond and make a jukebox out of it. Alright, it's 8, which means another hour. Alright, so I should hit 6:20, which isn't too bad. What's our current? An hour and 36 minutes? Yeah, give or take. Okay. $20,000 is pretty reasonable. What's going on? Oh, wow. Okay, bonus at 20%. Nice. Wait, what the fuck? -590, -490? Dude, what is that spawn point? That's fucking nuts. I wonder how those will look. What is going on in this terrain? Oh wow, that is awesome looking. Love a good mountain. Hey, wait, Buebue, since you're on Discord right now, am I purple at the top of the Farlands thing? Like, do I have the purple circle from streaming? No, you're still green? What the fuck? Fucking Discord, man. I don't know how to fix that, apart from, like... I've already fucking restarted it multiple times. It's not that. This persists across fucking shutting down the PC. It persists across me closing and opening OBS. The only thing I can think to do is to unlink my Twitch account and then relink it, but I don't really want to do that. It's on. Super mode is on. Like, if I look over at my icon, I am purple. I am for real. Wait, did he build an Aether portal? Oh, he did. I like that. Mixed version of FOB will have the Aether. I really hope nobody thinks I'm serious with that. I said the next version of FOM will have the Aether. I hope nobody thinks I'm serious. I'm not doing that. Aether Farlands. I mean, I wonder if we could... Hold up. I'll have to talk to Zell about this. Yeah. I was literally on stream just saying that. Actually, I'm gonna think this in my head for a second. Okay, so obviously the Aether was a joke, but you could do a button on the world generator, or on the world screen setting. And do I have fucking space for that? That's the real question. Yeah, I guess I could just shift the other buttons down and then pop in like default, like world type default or Skylands. And then if you go with Skylands, it'll run the Skylands world generator. Okay, yep, I got a plan for that. I don't know what you have to change in the class file. Alright, let me ask Zell. Which class? Because... Is it World Gen? No, well, it would be World Gen related. But the Perlin noise sets terrain in... I think the noise generator octaves class, if I remember correctly. No, that just generates the noise octave, which then aggregates into the map. But what controls the fucking actual setting of the terrain? hang on. We're gonna open up some source code here. Not my own source code. Let's go to FOM beta 173. Open up source, Minecraft, net, Minecraft, source. Okay. World generator? World generator Java. World gen hell? I saw world gen hell. Hell lava. World gen liquids. Okay, world generator is an abstract boolean generate. Okay, cool. You need to have something that actually implements this. Chunk provider sky. I think I might have found it. This version of Sky Dimension, the build of the world blocks wise version of it was midway, was midday and does not rain or snow. The cloud cover disappeared for raining like the overworld. There are oak trees, flowers, springs, lakes, and caves. We can find pumpkins, mushrooms, dungeons, iron, coal, and gold, although in common it's also possible to find sugarcane. Redstone, lapis, lazuli, more rarely diamond. The only mobs that spawn in the Sky Dimension are chickens. No other mobs, including hostile ones, and squid spawn, except for monsters spawned by monster spawners and monster rooms. Snow generates on surfaces above a certain altitude, similar to mountain biomes. However, there's no weather in the Sky Dimension. Snow is renewable. Below the islands of the Sky Dimension, thick with a void and a layer of clouds. Okay, pull it up on stream. Yeah, give me a second here. We're going to do a direct screen capture. Okay, so chunk provider Sky implements iChunk provider, and I don't think this is used anywhere because the default is a chunk provider generate. No. One of these has. Yeah, because there's this void called generate terrain, which looks like it didn't get decompiled, but it takes an int, a byte array, an array of biogen-based objects, and then a double array. And this takes the same thing, so these are identical functions. Let's see, this chunk provider Sky takes in a world object on a long. The long is going to be the random seed that initializes the random object. Check one seed to generate and spawn chunk stretch from -177 to x270. Okay, so that's a pretty decent one, I think. Yeah. So okay, hang on. iChunk provider, because that's the interface. World entity render chunk provider Sky, chunk provider load or generate, chunk provider generate, chunk provider client, chunk provider. Okay. What I want to know is what uses chunk providers. Excuse me. Oh God. Okay. Chunk provider Sky. Thank you. World provider Sky. Okay, there's a world provider as well. Alright, returns always 0 float. That's probably why it's always midday. Can coordinate be spawn, return I3 is equal to 0, false, okay, or if the block is solid. Okay, so my next question is what implements World Provider Sky? Because it's an extension of World Provider. I think, hold on, so, world. We got World Provider Sky, World Provider. Alright, what is a World Provider? It's an abstract class that takes the world chunk manager. Is Nether false? Is Hell World false? Has no sky is false. Interesting, I didn't know that was there. Okay, so I think the world does take a chunk provider by default. And a world provider. So there is the world provider, which is final. If I don't see you typing anything, I'm kind of like locked in for a second. There should be a chunk provider object. It's a protected int. Oh yeah, there's the chunk provider. Bro's locked in. I'm locked in. Okay, so the world provider is, I'm pretty sure, always get register world this world provider because world provider 5. If the world provider 5 is not null, I believe that's when the world gets recreated. Get provider for dimension -1. Okay, so this right here is a static function called on world provider. Register world chunk manager, this world chunk manager, new world chunk manager, this dot object. Okay, cool. Get chunk provider. No. Return new chunk provider generate. Okay, there's the celestial angle calculation. Get provider for dimension int I0. Oh, okay, here we go. So, if I0 is equal to 1, it provides new world provider hell. Otherwise, it provides surface, which is your overworld, and then if it's 1, it provides world provider sky. Okay, so essentially, I could tell it to grab that world provider, and then this world provider would register the world. And what does register world do? Does it just set the world object? Yeah. This dot register world chunk manager, generate the light brightness table, and then register world chunk manager calls to new world chunk manager this world object. All right, I'll try to make sure that this would work properly. I should be doing this offline instead. There's world chunk manager hell and regular. So I'm assuming the other one's an extension of this class. And then what does this do? It just creates a new world chunk manager and passes the one object. Generates noise. Okay. Cool. Oh, it gets multiplied by these longs, probably for... And then this thing is the lacunarity? Yeah. Okay. So that would happen. And then the chunk provider would be this dot get chunk provider. And then we would get ichunked loader 1 equals this dot save handler dot get chunk loader. Okay, so save handler would then return. Save handler is an interface. Okay, save handler is... Okay, with load world info. The save handler is passed in as an object. Okay, so it's passed in directly from the world. It is also passed in this function. Okay, so it's a direct thing. Okay, so then I have to go to the main class. So we're gonna go to Minecraft clients, and then I'm looking for, I think, void start world. Yeah, void start world. Okay, so there's my modification. Save handler is equal to this dot save loader dot get save loader. Okay, notch. I don't even know what the save loader is. Is old format. Alright, I'll just go to save loader. Source. Save loader. There's no object called save loader. What actually is this? I save format. Oh, great. I don't actually know what the fuck it is. Alright, I have to fucking figure this one out. Let's see. Return this dot save loader. Thank you. Save loader is a new save converter mic region. Okay, so I need to use save converter mic region. That is what I'm looking for. Save converter mic region. Okay. And then this calls get loader string and then the boolean false. File, scavolus region function, get save loader, string 1, return to save directory. Okay, is all map format, convert map format. Okay, this looks like it's just for the map format conversion. But does chunk provider, or does the chunk provider need to change, or can it just be the world provider? Because if that's the case, then I'd have to change this to return a new chunk provider sky. That may be legacy code before the change occurred. Okay, what does this do? This doesn't really fucking help me. Because it'd be nice if I would have the decompiled class names. Though, I'm pretty sure I modified this class. So actually, we're going to go to... not to this. Actually, I am. With sources. What class is it? XA? Did I modify XA? No, I have not touched class XA. I don't even know which of the classes it is. Though, I do know a way I can find out. Hold. I've got an idea. Alright, we're going to go to roaming. We're going to go to Betacraft. What do class files look like? Uncompiled looks like this, where it's just words. Compiled, it looks like a bunch of gibberish. Hi. You're gonna stare at me. Let's see. Beta173.jar. 7-zip open. Okay. What class am I looking for? I'm looking for class XA. Ah, my eyeballs. Because even though it's compiled, I should still be able to glean at least some text out of this. Most of this is going to be gibberish characters. Class XA. Alright, what the fuck is this? Can I glean any information out of this? I could just directly decompile the jar and then read the object order. I might have to do that instead. Okay, that's what I think I'm gonna do. Okay, let me close this. Java decompiler. I think it's this one. No. Nope. Oh god. Yeah, it was this file. Okay, cool. Alright, what I will do now is I will drop this jar file up here. Copy. Choose file. Oh, god damn it. Alright, I'm gonna have to fucking drop this in here. Okay, upload and decompile. Why is there a fucking fidget spinner on this? What the fuck, dude? Alright. So the names are still obfuscated, but I can actually read the source code. Or not the source, but I can at least read the decompiled code directly. So class XA. I'm not disabling my ads. My ad blocker. Alright, let's open up class XA. It's got a public field. It's got an object, a boolean, a float array of size 16, an int, and a float array of size 4. It's got a final void. It's got a void that has a float and then a loop. Alright, let's see, return new YF. Does this look like anything that I've seen? Yes, it does. It is this class. It is the world provider. Okay. So I have to modify the world provider because you have object, object, boolean, boolean, float array, int, float array. Okay. So class XA is the world provider. Now what does it say I have to fucking modify? Get chunk provider, return new provider, generate. I'm gonna guess that it needs me to return a new chunk provider sky instead. I don't know, it doesn't really tell me what to do. Is there even a function to return a chunk? This provide chunk. Okay. Let's see. Return chunk exists, return true. Excellent. Excellent code. Alright. Oh, okay. Interesting. Let's see. Generate some stuff. Let's see. This is a long fucking function. Jesus Christ. Save chunks, unload oldest chunks, can't save true, make string random level source. Is there not supposed to be a function that provides back the chunk? In fact, where do they even fucking store this? Because this one at least stores the chunks in a hash map. What are you staring at? Okay, this generates the chunk. I don't know why there's a constant for pi. That's my best guess. Alright, let's go back to walking.
Do you want me to throw the half slice away?
I just saw the fucking Mandeville Files comment there. Crazy work. Brutal stuff. I mean... Alright, well now that I've wasted 20 minutes with that. Bless you. What the hell? Oh, there's chickens. don't think Zell's good at giving me like half useful information. I think I would need to change the world provider. Because that's one of the classes, isn't it? Yeah, work provider Sky. I don't know. I forget what actually spawns up here. Well, let's see, you got oak trees, so you could theoretically do something in that world. Babe. Pink sheep! Pink sheep! Pink sheep. Come on. Give me your wool. Thank you. Oh, I always love spotting a pink sheep. Our current thing we're now debating on whether or not is to implement the sky dimension into the game. It's an unused dimension that was in beta 1, 6, 7, and 8.
Oh,
6, 7. Yeah, so it's in that. But now we're debating whether or not I should activate it.
sure. Why not?
Thanks, I like where we're.
Variety is the spice I like.
Varieties is the spice.
Verizon is the spice.
Verizon Wireless. Thank you. Welcome back, V. Actually, what I want to do now is make a poll. Create poll. Give Fig more work by adding a button to the world creation screen. Sets the world to be the sky dimension. would enable travel to those far lands? Type your answer. Yay.
I
Answer.
vote yay.
Nay. You don't get to vote here.
Why?
You're not part of the Discord. Alright, post. Cool. I'm gonna vote. Stuff for fall. V. Bye, sister. It's in the Farlands Discord. It vibes? What does it mean? It would be quite the challenge. The problem is bridging. Wait, are you an exclamation mark? Your myriad of usernames fucking confuses me. Well, I figured you were that because I know who the other two people are. So by default, you must have been that. Back up after every bridge. Yeah, that would be quite challenging. Mostly because you'd have to bridge, so it would be dramatically slower. Although I imagine once you get to the actual, like, edge farlands, you would be able to go much faster. Because you'd have actual fucking ground to walk on. I don't know, it's interesting. I mean, shit, nobody has yet to walk through the nether into the... Yeah, but then you run the risk of dying. Shit, nobody's decided to go through the nether to actually get to the far lands there. Everybody pretty much goes over the nether roof because of how hostile it is. And the fact that you can just AFK walk on top of the bedrock. God, how many fucking more polls are we gonna have to do before I compile all this code together? I'm just giving myself more work. I mean, there really isn't, because there's no land. Oh, when it comes down to bridging? I don't really even know what your best material will be for bridging. Probably, like, logs, just because it's a 4-to-1 ratio. What about water and lava? What do you mean? Oh yeah, just lava cast the sky dimension. I feel like that'd be pretty slow though, because you'd have to. I think it takes like a tick or so for it to like activate. No, it's multiple ticks. I mean, it still wouldn't matter if scaffolding was in the game in beta 1.7, because you would still have to contend with the fact that it would just fall into the void. No, I don't. I know not of what you're referring to. Yeah, you would fall through the ghost blocks. Anyways, what are you saying? Then you can bridge infinitely without any issues if you had an offhand. Yeah, but you don't have an offhand, so your only option is to farm the materials required to make the bridge. Ooh, dungeon. What do we got here? Bone man. Let's go ahead and yoink that. Alright. Do we have any chests? Or did I just get unlucky? Nope, I got one chest. Some iron. And another copy of that music disc. Oh, no, there's a second chest. Just some bread. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Oh well. What if you can do something with boats? Not likely. You can't sleep though. Because the sun never sets on the Skylands Empire. Yeah, but you can bridge with beds? Yeah, but you'd have to make, what, 3 wool blocks, so you need 12 string in order to make 1 bed. So you'd have to build a spider farm all the time, and I feel like that's not worth it. I feel like legitimately the fastest way is just to make, or just to farm a bunch of trees. And then, like, cross a lot of space, farm more trees, cross a lot of space, farm more trees, cross a lot of space, reach the far lands. You just repeat, like, several thousand times. Bridge by growing trees. Okay, where are you going to get the bone meal from? How are you going to get in a reliable, consistent manner? Dungeons. Cool. You can't control where dungeons are, nor what is in them. You can only carry so many saplings and so many bones in your inventory. What are you planting the sapling on? Right, but the scaling spawner is unpredictable. Bye. Is bridging with trees feasible? I don't think that's feasible. Particularly at scale. Whoa. That's fucking weird. So it's more likely you're gonna find a spawner compared to the normal world. Again, your best bet is to bridge with just wood. You get 4 planks for 1 wood. Yes, I'm aware of that. I have no idea. What does that accomplish? Morning, hello Ben. Not really. Your walking speed while free falling is incredibly slow. Plus, you would have to not die. So that's not really feasible either. Again, your best and most reliable method would quite literally just be bridging. Is this really the core of Farlands? Even also Y level 12, 550,000 user 24. Mm-hmm. Well, you see, Vin, I know you're being cheeky, but the Sky Farlands and the Void Farlands don't start until 25 million blocks. Something with the scaling of some noise maps. Alright, thank you, Vin. That's better. It has something to do with like the increment of the noise map value. Void Farlands would be a cool expedition for somebody to eventually pull off. Just because it's basically just 25 million blocks of caving. Imagine doing that in the Caves and Cliffs update. It's an interesting desert. There's always been music to these streams. Are you guys hallucinating? Yeah, I've always had music on these streams. Have you guys never been able to hear them? Dude, like, go pull up a VOD. I've had this on the entire time. Is this in the fucking water? What's going on here? Oh god, my fucking foot hurts. Alright, this will be the last day, just because I want to get to 620,000. And then I'm going to go spend time with my girlfriend. Did you find it? No? Same music as always. It might be because usually it's lower and for the most part we're usually talking. Oh god, there's my face. In cloud form. There he is, the big fig in the sky. Is that the cloud clipping through the tree? Okay, no, the tree just fully generate. Ah, looks so silly. I love it when I spot it. Big fig. Good news, we're at 620,000. Give or take. Big amounts. I think the music just actually stopped though. Alright, I'm just gonna restart this one. No, it doesn't. Because I think the hitbox and it are calculated differently. I don't actually know how the outlines are done. Alright. I believe it is time for me to stop. I will see you guys all later. Okej, Buebue. You know what? Thank you. That's not the title of this stream. Have a good night.